Hi, Vineyard Marysville. This is Conrad. I'm one of the pastors here at the church. I hope you're doing well and experiencing good health this week. Now, are the guys getting out to the Coffee Hall and Creamery on 124 North Main Street, Marysville? It's our Father's Day gift to the congregation. So it's all the fathers, but not just the fathers, all the men in our church get a free drink at the Coffee Hall and Creamery. You have until Saturday evening. So make sure that you make that happen. Did you see the comic strip that we put out about this? Okay, now for the second phase of this coffee break with Conrad. The second phase, I just wanted to talk about the in-person worship services and any changes that we're going to be making come July. Now, so we met with the Sunday in-person planning team, whatever you want to call that, and it was actually a group of 8 people that met. We had a group that met before the first phase, and then we met again last week, and it basically consisted of Denise Mast with Connections, Judy Michael with Hospitality, Erin with Church Communications, Vicky with the worship teams, and obviously she's one of the pastors, Jason with security and the video production, relating closely with Ryan with video production, and myself. And this time we added Brittany with children's ministry and Anita with the youth. And so that team of 8 came together, and we decided, based on the survey results that came in from the Survey Monkey that we put out, and also based on the fact that we do not have enough children's workers for the downstairs programming at this point, because people are slowly coming back. Some have different levels of comfort, of being ready to dive in and help with the kids downstairs. And we don't want it all to fall on 1 or 2 or 3 individuals. So at this point, the decision has been made to continue phase 1 through the month of July. That includes the 2 worship services, one at 9 with the mandatory mass, and the second at 10:45 mass optional service. And we will continue all the social distancing policies that we put in place during the first phase. So I just wanted you to know that phase 1 will continue through the end of July. And here's some of the survey results that we found.
A week ago, we gave everyone in the congregation the opportunity to participate in a survey about their thoughts on returning to church on Sunday mornings. And I'm here to tell you about the results of that survey. The first question that we asked was, when do you plan to return to in-person worship services? 41.67% of people replied they are already attending. 25% will return in July or August. And 33.33% are not sure when they are going to attend. One thing that I forgot to mention is that we had 60 people who responded to our survey. So that's the numbers that we're looking at. Question number 2 was, if we continue with 2 morning services, which service would work best for you and your family? 58.33% of our respondents replied that the 9 o'clock service was best for their family. And 43.33% of our respondents replied that 10:45 would be the best time for them to attend. Question number 3 was, would it hinder you from returning if we chose not to have a mandatory mass service? 25% of our respondents answered yes, and 75% of people answered no.
The answer to that question actually was very helpful to me, in that there's still a number of people that, as they're coming back, it's important for them that we have a mass-only worship service. And so I felt like that's important. We need to pay attention to that. And not just myself, but also the planning team, as we looked at the survey results, that there's 25% of those that responded to the survey feel like it's important to them that we have a Mass only service. So we want to prefer our brothers and sisters. We want to continue to look out for each other and love one another with the love of Jesus Christ. And with that, I'm like, why not have the option? We're going to continue to have the Mass only option for the 9 o'clock service, and then the Mass optional for the 10:45 service. And that was very helpful to us.
Question number 4 was, would it hinder you from attending if we chose not to have a 6-foot distance between rows of chairs? 43.33% of our respondents replied yes, and 58.33% of our respondents replied no.
So we were split down the middle with what our preferences pertaining to continuing to have the rows of chairs, the 6 feet distance between the rows of chairs. And actually, one of the reasons why we asked that question was some people were saying, let's get back to one service as soon as we can. And I'm like, I don't think we can get back to one service unless we are able to bring the chairs closer together, because our building is not the biggest building in town, in case you didn't know. And we need to allow space for social distancing while we're coming back. And we also need to allow room for people to start returning again. And that's going to fill up our sanctuary. And so one service is not really practical at this point, based on the survey results and based on the fact that we need to continue to have the distance, the 6 feet distance between the rows, and having 3 chairs between families. And if we're going to do that, we really can't go back to one service at this point. As much as we'd all love to have one service, that's just not possible at this point.
The next question is in regards to children's ministry, and we had 25 people respond to these questions. The question was, for the parents of youth or children, what is your comfort level? 44% of our respondents replied that they are comfortable with their children or youth attending Sunday morning classes in July or August without restrictions. 28% of the respondents replied that they're comfortable with their children or youth attending Sunday morning classes with less than 9 people in each class when they start back in July or August. And 28% of our respondents replied that they were not comfortable having their children or youth attending Sunday morning classes when we start back up.
Okay, so none of that really surprises us, that we have a lot of differing views and different perspectives on all of this, and that is totally fine. We just wanted to hear from you, and I really do appreciate all the extra comments that were made in the comment lines and some of the things that you shared with us, that we're weighing all of that. We're praying about all of that. And so continue to pray for wisdom for the church leaders and wisdom for those that are in charge of the worship services. Pray for me, pray for Vicky and all the teams that are trying to pull this off. So keep us in your prayers, and we're excited about what God's going to continue to do. Continue to join us as you're comfortable. Join us for the in-person worship services. And just know that when your kids come, that we do have activity packets for the children during the services, that the younger kids can take part in grabbing one of those packets, and there's something for the kids to do. Along with, we will continue to have a children's story, and different aspects of the service will be geared for kids. We want to get the children and the youth involved as well. So just wanted you to know too that I have a lot of hope when I think about our church and different people that God is calling to come to our church. There's some new folks that have been coming in recent Sundays. There's new things that God is doing in our hearts as leaders and in our leadership teams. I think new people are going to be stepping into ministry that maybe were never in ministry before, and we're going to encounter God together. We are a church that really values an encounter with the living God and an intimate relationship with Jesus Christ. So I have a lot of hope. I have a lot of optimism with where we're going, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. And so I'm excited. Let's pray for each other, and I hope you have a good week.